Yeah, we are back. Feels like I was just here like a few hours ago, and I was. But again, we are back. Oh, hold on. Darn. You grab that real quick. Had to make sure I grab my fan because it's a little hot in here, so got to make sure the fan is pointed my direction. You know how it is. But yeah, we are back. We are live again for another episode of VypDrive. Good morning, Buzz. How you doing, man? Nice to see you here. I'm kind of curious how many people will show up since this is a early morning stream on a weekday, but I figured since I have the day off and I never really live stream early in the mornings, and I know I got people that are all across the world that listen to me and watch me, I figure I would give those people a chance to watch me live for once. So we shall see how many people show up for this early morning live stream. But this is going to be another episode of the VypDrive podcast, episode number 36. If you didn't see it last night, episode 35 was kind of crazy, but that's on the channel if you guys want to take a look. But yeah, this is episode 36. These will be my impressions and reaction for the iPhone keynote. So let me get into my introduction, and we can proceed with the festivities. What's up, Tanner? Good morning, man. How you doing? So, yesterday we had an Apple event, the unveiling of the iPhone 11, among other things. I figured I would get on here on the podcast and give you guys my give you guys my reactions and thoughts about everything that Apple talked about and unveiled yesterday at the keynote. VypDrive, episode 36. Start now. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, captain of Team Apple, baby. And welcome back to another episode of VypDrive. This is the podcast about tech, hosted by the man about tech. And in this particular podcast, your boy will be going solo, coast to coast. I know some of you guys kind of don't really enjoy when I have a bunch of guests on these live streams. So I figure I will give you a live stream of just me, Viper, giving you my thoughts about everything that happened yesterday at Apple's live event. So without further ado, let's begin. So the keynote kicked off yesterday with Tim Cook sauntering on the stage, as Tim Cook does, rolled up. And before he even got out his typical good morning, people were boo-ha-ha and cheering and clapping like they were at an NFL football game. It was absolutely hilarious. But once we got past all the hardcore Apple fanatics and their reaction, Tim Cook was able to let out his legendary "Good morning," and I was there for all of it. But once we got past the good morning, Tim Cook immediately got into the meat and potatoes of the keynote. He knew that there was a lot to talk about, and we didn't have enough time for all that crazy, stupid numbers and fluff. So we got right to the business at hand. First thing he talked about was Apple Arcade. Now we finally got pricing for Apple Arcade. It was rumored to be $4.99 a month, and that's exactly what Apple delivered yesterday. Apple Arcade will be $4.99 a month. Gives you access to all of the catalogs in Apple's iOS game library. So that was cool. But the other cool thing about Apple Arcade is that it's $4.99 for the entire family. I'm like, whoa. Usually, they got like one pricing for individuals and another pricing for family, et cetera, et cetera. But Apple Arcade is $5 a month for the entire family. So that's definitely legit. You can now have your choice of like most iOS games that are part of the arcade. They got like a whole bunch of developers on board to back Apple Arcade. So this Apple Arcade is definitely going to be legit. And at that price point, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try it, right? I mean, what do you have to lose? $5 a month? That's penny. So good luck for Apple on finally getting Apple Arcade out there and on the run. Not long after that, we had our first bombshell of the keynote. It didn't take long, baby. It didn't take long. The first bombshell of the keynote was Apple TV Plus. I mean, whoa! Oh my goodness. Now, I told you all a month ago that I thought that Apple TV Plus was a direct slap in the face to creators because Apple was relying on these A-list celebrity actors. They didn't give a chance to the everyday Joe or Jane to have creative input, lend their creative talent to Apple TV Plus. But the first bombshell of the keynote yesterday was the pricing of Apple TV Plus. I mean, good Lord. We all thought that it would come in at least $10 a month, but with Disney bringing down the hammer of Thanos with that $6.99 a month pricing, there was no way that Apple TV Plus could compete, even though it's not really going to compete with Disney anyway. But there was no way that Apple TV Plus could compete with Disney coming in at a higher price point, given the fact that Disney is bringing the whole Marvel universe, the whole Disney library, the whole Disney army was coming at $7 a month, and Apple TV Plus had to concede. So in the first bombshell of the keynote yesterday, Tim Cook was like, yeah, we're giving you guys Apple TV Plus for $4.99 a month. Oh, whoa, 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 $5 a month for Apple TV Plus? Holy Lord. Are you kidding me? That is so not Apple that it just boggles my mind. That was a pleasant surprise and an absolute bombshell. $5 a month, Apple TV Plus, definitely in the building. That will definitely get people on board because the big question mark right now that we all have about Apple TV Plus is the content. Yeah, it's cool that you got a bunch of A-list celebrities out there, flaunting them out there on stage, saying we're making this, we're making that, boo-hoo, hee-hee. All that's cool and cute and cuddly. But what about the content? What are you bringing to the table that is going to make me want to pull out my wallet and give you my $5 a month? So here's where the other cool part of this Apple TV Plus thing comes into play. So on top of Apple TV Plus being $5 a month, Apple is giving Apple TV Plus to all people that purchase a new Apple device this year, be it iPhone, iPad, Mac, or something like that. Anybody that purchases a brand new Apple device this year gets 1 year of Apple TV Plus free. I mean, whoa! The bombshell just kept coming with Apple TV Plus. I'm like, damn! I like that. Like I said, Apple TV Plus is a relative unknown. We don't know what content is coming. Well, we have an idea, but we don't know the quality of the content. We don't know how long it'll take Apple to build upon the 5 shows they already announced and things like that. But a good way to get a fan base in the door is to offer Apple TV Plus for free for a year. And then, at the end of that year, some people will forget to unsubscribe. Some people will be comfortable with it, so they won't want to lose it. Things like that. And the other thought is that after that initial year, Apple will have a much stronger category of content in Apple TV Plus, which might compel you to stay and stick around and continue to pay the $5 a month. So awesome move by Apple, not only for the pricing of Apple TV Plus, but for giving it away for a year for free to new Apple device customers. That is genius. That is a very good way to get people locked into that Apple ecosystem that we talk about so heavily here on YouTube and around the tech space. And that gives people a good chance to experience Apple TV Plus and see what it's about. And then they can make their decision at the end of the year and decide whether they want to keep it or keep going. But an absolute bombshell with Apple TV Plus yesterday. And it's going to be available on November 1st. So it's coming very quickly. Although I do find it kind of hilarious that Apple TV Plus is coming a few days before Disney Plus. Shout out to Tim Cook and the people at the Spaceship at Cupertino for getting it out there before Disney Plus, because once Disney Plus hits, game over. Everybody can Thanos snap. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Once that November 12th date hits for Disney Plus, it's all over, baby. So shout out to Apple for getting TV Plus out there before the arrival of Disney Plus, giving themselves a chance. I mean, Disney Plus is not playing, people. Disney Plus is not playing. So once we got past the Apple TV Plus bombshell, we moved into the new iPad. Now, last year, Apple unveiled a 9.7-inch entry-level iPad. I think it was the 6th gen. It was aimed towards students and educators and being in classrooms and things like that. They launched it last year at a $329 price point. Now, this year, the big rumor was that they were going to replace the 9.7-inch model with a larger 10.2-inch model, and that is what exactly happened yesterday at the keynote. Apple unveiled a new entry-level 7th generation 10.2-inch iPad with Apple Pencil support, obviously. But now the new entry-level 10.2-inch iPad now has smart connectors on it, so you connect the smart keyboards to it and things like that. So that is pretty cool. And it also is coming in at a $329 price point. And they're also going to have a student discount associated with the iPad. So definitely Apple making moves in the education space, trying to get the iPad into more classrooms, have students adapted. $329 and probably $229 with a student, $299 with a student discount. iPad is definitely legit. Shout out to Apple for doing that. So once we got past the iPad announcement, we moved straight into Apple Watch Series 5. Now, I need to take a drink for this one because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I got to unpack about Apple TV Plus. I mean, not Apple TV Plus. I got a lot of stuff to unpack here about the Apple Watch Series 5. So I'm going to take a drink real quick and let's go to work. So, a little backstory before I get into the Apple Watch stuff. Yesterday, it's event day. I'm live tweeting. I'm watching the event on my MacBook Pro, etc., etc. We get around to the Apple TV. I keep talking about Apple TV Plus. We get around to the Apple Watch presentation. Excuse me. Apple is talking about how the watch has impacted so many lives. They get real life people to tell their stories of how the Apple Watch has impacted them. And then they talk about the features that Apple Watch has right now. And then after that presentation, they move it to the unveiling of Apple Watch Series 5. Now, the Series 5, in all honesty, doesn't really impress me that much. Siri, I'm in the middle of a podcast. Can you calm down? Can you calm down, Siri? I'm in a podcast. But anyway, I digress. So, Apple Watch Series 5, not that impressive. I mean, it is coming with always on display. So, that's pretty cool. I mean, I have questions about battery life because the Apple Watch Series 5 is going to have the exact same battery life as the Series 4. And if I'm being honest with you guys, the Series 4 battery life is good, but it's not that great. So you're giving me all the same features and functionality of the Series 4, and the Series 5, but you're adding always on display. You're adding a compass because the Series 5 now has a compass built in too. But you're giving me the same battery life. And if I remember correctly, there's not even a chipset. There's not even a new chipset, a new CPU in the Apple Watch Series 5. I think it's using the same chipset from the Series 4. So how are we adding features to this chipset? And the battery life was okay at best, but now we're adding more functionality with the same battery life. So I have questions about that. Obviously, we won't know more until the Apple Watch Series 5 is out there in the wild. But besides the always on display, the compass, we're getting new casing for the Apple Watch Series 5. It is now coming in titanium finish and a ceramic finish, so that's cool. But besides the new casings, besides the always on display, besides the compass, those are the only new noteworthy things about Apple Watch Series 5. So I don't feel compelled to upgrade from my Series 4. I am very happy with my Series 4. Right now, I will not be getting a Series 5. And that's how I feel about it. Now, the cool thing about doing a live podcast, which I'm doing right now, is that, again, I have a live audience, and I have my friend Taylor the Tech in the chat, and he is saying that there is indeed a new chip in the Apple Watch Series 5, and that makes sense. Apple glossed over a lot of things yesterday at the keynote. They didn't bring up any new chip technology with the Series 5, but that does not surprise me that there is a new chip in there, because like I said, if you're keeping the same chip in there with more functionality with the same battery life, that's not a good look. But Drew says that there is a new chip. There's an S5 chip in the Series 5, so that makes sense. I still have questions about the battery life over the long period of time with that always on display, but I guess we will find out when he watches Get Out in the Wild next week. But that's not what I want to talk about with the Apple Watch stuff at the keynote. All that is good, but we got to talk about the Apple Watch marketing, you all. Now, I did an entire video highlighting the craziness that was going up and down my Twitter timeline yesterday as it relates to how Apple is marketing the Apple Watch. So yesterday, I'm watching the keynote and I'm live tweeting. I'm watching my Twitter timeline. And when Apple had those people out there, those actual real-life Apple Watch owners out there, telling their stories about how the Apple Watch has impacted their lives, in some cases saved lives, we have people on Twitter accusing Apple of using fear-mongering and scare tactics to sell the Apple Watch. And I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me right now? Are you serious right now? So these people are telling their real-life story of how the Apple Watch has impacted their lives, and you're accusing Apple of scare tactics? The last time I checked, those are not scare tactics. That is not fear-mongering. Those are results. Those are things that happen to people with the Apple Watch. Wearing the Apple Watch could potentially save your life. It's not marketing. It is what it is. It's a result. It's a direct result of wearing the watch. So I had to put out a dedicated video on my main YouTube channel, just blasting everybody who had a problem with the Apple marketing of the Apple Watch, because that hit kind of personal to me. Because number one, I am an Apple Watch owner. I wear my Apple Watch every single day. And number two, the Apple Watch has alerted me to high heart rates in the past, which I had to go to a doctor and get checked out. Like I said in my video yesterday, luckily everything was all good on my end. But you're not going to sit up there and tell me that they're fear-mongering and providing scare tactics when I'm living proof that the damn thing works. It's doing something right. And not only am I living proof of it, those people that got up there and told their stories at the keynote yesterday, those people are living proof that the Apple Watch does exactly what it's designed to do. It is by no means is it a certified medical device. Apple never advertised it as a certified medical device. It should not be taken as Bible as it relates to your medical condition. But the watch was built to enrich your health. It was built to aid you in living a healthier life. And with those features came the ECG, which measures your heart rhythm. It has constant heart monitoring. So it monitors your high heart rate, low heart rate, things like that. The damn thing has the activity rings, which constantly remind you to stay on the move and get your cardio going so you can close the ring. So again, the Apple Watch is not a certified medical device, although it does have some backing from medical professionals, because Apple works closely with medical personnel to make sure that the features of the watch act and function as they're supposed to. So even though it's not a certified medical device, the research and development that goes into developing these Apple Watch features are done with real medical professionals. I myself was a participant in the Apple Watch heart study with Stanford 2 years ago before the Series 4 came out. So I participated in that study. I wore my Apple Watch Series 3. I allowed Apple to use that data to calibrate the functionality that they put into the Series 4. So again, when you're talking about Apple using scare tactics and fear-mongering to market the Apple Watch, and I'm sitting up here being living proof of how the watch works and how it works for me, I'm not having any of that trash. So I had to go out there and make a dedicated video to debunk all of that nonsense, because that kind of pissed me off immediately. So my last podcast, episode 35, dealt directly with a disagreement I had with one of my friends, Zach, regarding this Apple Watch marketing. But anybody, and I mean anybody, that accuses Apple of fear-mongering and scare tactics will have a problem with me. But all that being said, I am not impressed with Apple Watch Series 5 at all. I have no plans on upgrading. That's just me. Maybe I'll change my mind in the future, but I have no The app, there's nothing there's nothing about the 3.5 that makes me feel like I have to have it. Nothing. So I'm gonna take a small little break from the live stream recap at this point to let you guys know that this YouTube channel is still not monetized. I need to hit 1,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, but we're currently sitting at 804, so I got less than 200 to go. But if you guys want to donate to the podcast and the channel in general, I am putting my Buy Me a Coffee link in the chat right now. For those of y'all watching the replay or listening on audio only, check the link in the description, check the show notes if you guys want to support. Like I tell you guys all the time, by no means is it required, but it does help me out. And shout out to my man Buzz, who donated a coffee earlier during the podcast. I saw that. So thank you, Buzz, for the support. Always support me, man. I definitely appreciate you. But for anybody else that wants to donate to the podcast, the link is there in the chat. Like I said, it's not required, but I will be very grateful and gracious of you if you did choose to donate. Now, with that being said, let's get back to the main event of the evening. So once we get past the 3-5 presentation, it was party time on Cupertino Street at the Steve Jobs Theater. Yes, sir, we had the unveiling of the brand new iPhone 11. Now, we got a couple of surprises with this iPhone 11. Not really. Well, kind of, but not really, but kind of. So the first thing that we all knew is that the iPhone 11 is the iPhone XR successor. But on top of being the iPhone XR successor, the iPhone 11 is coming with a dual camera lens system. That's right. No more single lens crap on iPhone, on the entry-level iPhone model. The iPhone 11, which is the entry-level model this year, is now coming with a dual camera system. But here's where Apple threw me a curveball, though. They threw us all a curveball, and it's a pleasant curveball. Normally, when you have a dual camera lens system, right? Normally, the regular lens is a regular wide-angle lens, and the secondary lens is a telephoto lens. But Apple threw us a pleasant curveball yesterday because the second lens on the iPhone 11 is not a telephoto lens. It is a ultra wide angle lens. I'm like, whoa! Oh man! Standing ovation for the people at the spaceship in Cupertino. You know, me personally, I feel like the telephoto lens is one of the most overrated pieces of monkey crap in camera technology. Nobody hardly uses a telephoto lens. The ultra wide angle is a much more beneficial lens, in my opinion. Now, I know there are people out there that differ in this opinion, but this is VypDrive. I'm the man about tech. I am the host, and I'm the one that's talking to you guys. So it is, in my opinion, that an ultra-wide angle lens is much more beneficial than a telephoto lens. Now, if you want to zoom into a subject, I can just move in closer to the subject and do it like that. But it is more difficult to back out and get a wider range of view without an ultra-wide angle lens. So the fact that Apple includes an ultra-wide angle lens is amazing. I love it. Definitely more useful to me personally than a telephoto lens. So the other cool thing about the iPhone 11, besides the rainbowy color that it's coming in, is that the front camera also got an upgrade. The front camera is now going to be 12 megapixels, so it should have clearer, more focused, more detailed selfie from the iPhone moving forward, which is always good. I always felt like the iPhone selfie camera was one of the best in the game, and it just got better with an updated camera. So I am definitely about that. But the other cool addition with the iPhone front-facing camera is the ultra-wide mode. If you rotate the phone to landscape, it automatically switches to ultra-wide angle mode on the selfie camera. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to definitely testing that out because I take a lot of pictures with my phone. So I am definitely looking forward to testing out all the camera tech on the new iPhone. Now, I'm not getting the iPhone 11 because I plan on getting the iPhone 11 Pro Max, but I am definitely interested in testing out those camera features on the new iPhone. So the other interesting thing about the selfie camera on the iPhone this year is slow motion selfies. They're calling them slofies already. The kids have already branded them slofies. And I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? Oh my Lord. When those phones come out, the internet is going to be attacked with a bunch of slofies. It's going to be hilarious and crazy at the same time. But you know what? I'm okay with that because slofies to me are much better than an emoji and me emoji. Oh my God, that stuff is ridiculous. I can deal with slofies. Leave the Animoji and me emoji at home. Give me the slofies any day of the week over Animoji. All right. So, those are the deep with the iPhone 11. Then we moved on to my personal new precious, the phone that I will be getting, the iPhone 11 Pro and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Now, brand new on iPhone 11. Oh, actually, no, let me back up. So let me back up real quick. So the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max are the successors to the iPhone XS and XS Max of last year. So those are the successors to the mainstream flagship iPhone. But new this year on iPhone Pro models is a third camera lens. So that telephoto lens that I was talking about the iPhone 11 not having, that will be present on the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. In addition to that third ultra wide angle lens. So the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max will have 3 camera lenses on the back. So that's cool. Now Apple seems to be doing a lot with computational photography this year. I think they explain how when you take a picture with the iPhone Pro model, it ends up actually taking like 9 pictures in one, and it somehow it just like stitches them together to create the best picture, which is just mind-boggling to me. 9 pictures in one? Wow, that's crazy. But every lens on the back of those iPhone Pro models takes a picture when you snap. And then they use computational photography to stitch the imaging together to give you the best possible picture. So that is craziness. That is some Google Pixel level stuff. I am definitely interested in seeing how those cameras perform when I have the phone in hand next week. So besides the 3 camera lenses on the back for the iPhone Pro models, the other new tidbit coming to iPhone Pro models and only iPhone Pro models is the inclusion. Finally, Apple, they are giving us fast charging in the box with iPhone Pro models. Yes, we get an 18-watt power adapter in the box with the Pro model. Now, mention I said Pro models. If you're buying an iPhone 11, have fun with your 5-watt fart knocker. Because you're still getting the 5-watt fart knocker in the box with the iPhone 11. But the iPhone 11 Pro models get the new beefier 18-watt adapter. It took Apple eons, but they finally figured it out. If you're going to sell bigger iPhones, definitely you need to include better, faster, bigger adapters in the box. We're getting that finally this year. That is a definite win from me. Also, the other thing that I didn't talk about with the new iPhones this year is better battery life. Now, in Bizarro World last year, the iPhone XR, the entry-level iPhone, had the best battery life. I'm not sure how that made sense, but apparently in Apple World, it made sense last year. However, Apple, they changed the game up this year. They finally got it right. So the iPhone 11 will have 1 additional hour of battery life this year in relation to its predecessor, the XR. But Apple made significant battery improvements in the Pro model. So the iPhone 11 Pro will have 4 hours more battery life than the iPhone XS of last year, which is just absolutely outstanding because anybody who owned the iPhone XS knows, hell, anybody that owned the iPhone X knows that the battery life on those 5.8-inch iPhones was atrocious. It was garbage. It was absolutely laughable. But Apple is including 4 more hours of battery life on the iPhone 11 Pro this year. I like that. We all like that. That's a win for everybody. But with the iPhone 11 Pro Max, the 6.5-inch behemoth, we get an additional 5 hours of battery life. So I am definitely excited about that because I actually went out last year and I brought the Apple Smart battery case for my XS Max because I felt like the battery life was suspect. It was average at best. So maybe this year I won't have to go out and buy any additional battery accessories for my Pro Max, because with the 5 hours extra battery life, I'll finally have the battery life I feel like I deserve. So I am definitely looking forward to more substantial battery life on these new iPhones. Definitely legit. The other thing that I didn't talk about as far as the camera photography on these new iPhones is finally Apple is getting with the time. They have finally included a night mode on all these brand new iPhones this year. Now, the cool thing about the iPhone night mode is that it's automatic, which means the iPhone adjusts to the environment that you're taking the picture in. And if it feels like it needs to toggle night mode on, it will do that automatically for you. On other phones like the Pixel and the Samsung phones, you have to actually switch to night mode to take a night mode picture. But with iPhone, you won't have to do that. It will automatically toggle on night mode if it feels like the environment warrants turning that mode on. So I definitely like that. Also, these iPhones are coming in. I should say the iPhone Pro models are coming in a brand new matte frost glass finish this year. It's kind of weird because the iPhone 11, the entry level model, does not have the glass matte finish, but it does have it around the camera housing. So this is a little weird the way Apple did it this year. So the iPhone 11, the entry level model, has a glossy finish like the iPhone, the iPhone. It's similar to the iPhone 10R of last year. But it has the camera module on the iPhone 11, the entry level iPhone 11. The camera module has that frosty glass matte finish around the camera module. But the phone itself does not have that frost matte glass finish. But the iPhone 11 Pro models do have the glass matte finish on the back of the phone, but a glossy finish around the camera module. So Apple kind of mixed it up with the finishes on the iPhone. The 11 Pro models have the entire glass matte back finish on the back of the phone, but the gloss finish around the camera module. But the iPhone 11 has the glass matte frost finish around the camera module and the regular normal finish around the rest of the phone. So I thought that was a little interesting in how they did that. But hey, hopefully it doesn't scratch as easy as the Pixel 3, because that glass matte finish was a little suspect, even though people show how it washed off easily. But still, I'm interested to see how that Apple coded that finish when we get the phones in hand next week. So I guess the last thing to talk about on the podcast is something else I'm kind of irked with the way Apple did this year. And that is the iPhone pre-order process, or more specifically, the pre-order time. So every year before 2019, if you wanted to pre-order the newest iPhone, you knew what you had to do. Pre-order went live at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 a.m. Central Standard Time, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you wanted to pre-order an iPhone, you knew you had to do one or two things. You had to stay up late, very late that night to get your pre-order in, or you had to go to bed real early and set an alarm to get up like uber early at 3 a.m. Eastern to order the iPhone. But for whatever reason this year, Timmy thought it in his great wisdom to change the pre-order times of the iPhone, which has me a little irked. But, I mean, it is what it is. So this year, for the first time ever, there is no longer that whole staying up late to pre-order iPhone. Pre-orders are going live this year on Friday, September 13th at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which means for me, instead of staying up to 2 a.m. to pre-order the iPhone, I now have to get up at 7 a.m. on Friday morning to pre-order, or 8 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. So this kind of had me a little mad, although I know most people agree with the change. But me personally, I feel like it killed some of that iPhone nostalgia, which they're already trying to kill off anyway. We used to have lines back in the day to people lining up to get iPhone, which I was a part of back in the day. So that was kind of cool to me, waiting in line for the iPhone. But with the advent of online pre-ordering, kind of killed the iPhone line. So the last bit of iPhone nostalgia we had was staying up late to pre-order the iPhone. Like, you knew if you wanted to get one, if you wanted to be one of the first people to get one, you knew you had to stay up late to pre-order the iPhone. But now Apple is killing that nostalgia. Now they're doing pre-orders early in the morning the next day or on Friday. So now everybody, any Rudy Poo, can just get up early, go over to their computer or iPhone and pre-order. There's no survival of the fittest anymore. Anybody can pre-order an iPhone. That kind of irks me. I know this is a first world problem. I know this is a Viper captain of the Team Apple problem, but I don't care. I don't like it. I want Timmy to change it back to the old way. Put it back to 3 a.m. and let the survival of the fittest happen. Let the strong survive, Timmy. But Apple has made it a lot easier for those non-hardcore fanatics to get their pre-orders in bright and early on Friday morning. Like I said, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to pre-order an iPhone on Friday, September 13th, that is when pre-orders go live. So be aware of the time change, because if you're looking to pre-order an iPhone, or if you're going to stay up late this year to pre-order iPhones on first thing Friday morning, you're going to be sadly mistaken when the pre-orders don't go live, and you'll be like, what the hell's happening? So yeah, just be aware of that time change. And I did a dedicated video on my YouTube channel about that as well. But that is how Apple is moving out this year. So other tidbits from the keynote yesterday, there were a lot of rumors that iPhones would get reverse wireless charging like the Galaxy phones have, but Apple, they couldn't get it done, and the iPhones do not have reverse wireless charging. Now, my man Brandon from Business Tech Today made a very cool joke that actually ended up in the tech blog. Brandon joked that, we're having technical difficulties. Let me get back in here real quick. Of course, the camera wants to act a fool, but it's all right. Live broadcasting. No hurt, right? No big deal. Live broadcasting. So Brandon made the joke that the only thing that Apple can charge is your credit card. That was so savage. And the tech publication took it and ran with it, which I find utterly hilarious. But how true is that? The only thing that Apple can charge is your credit card. Now, obviously, this is then alluding to the lack of air power, the charging mat that Apple was supposedly going to release this year, but it got canceled. And then we were rumored to have reverse wireless charging on iPhone, but then it got scrapped. So that's where the joke, Apple can only charge your credit card, come from, because they couldn't get that wireless charging mat correct. They couldn't get that right. They couldn't get reverse wireless charging right. So apparently, when it comes to like wirelessly charging things, Apple just can't charge anything but your credit card. So I found that kind of hilarious. Also, with the events of this keynote, we have now identified a troll in the Apple community. We have a troll out there. CoinX, I'm talking to you, bro. That's right, CoinX. I'm talking to you. You are now troll status. So for those of you all on the podcast that don't know what I'm talking about, there is a leaker out there that up until this year had a 100% track record for leaking Apple details about keynotes and iPhones and things like that. CoinX is his name on Twitter, and he tweeted out something about a one more thing coming this year. So everybody was looking for a one more thing yesterday at the Apple keynote, but lo and behold, we got to the end. Tim Cook's like, thank you guys for coming, and walked away, and we're thinking, all right, is he coming back? Is he coming back? Is he coming back? Timmy, one more thing. Timmy, come back. Come back. And it fades to black. No, we're not getting a one more thing. So yeah, we got trolled. So yeah, this CoinX person who leaked the possible one more thing, your 100% track record is done, son. You now have a blemish on your record. Now that's not to say that the dude will be trolling us for the now on, but you had everybody excited for the one more thing yesterday, and then you go and do that to us. I mean, come on, man. You can't play with our emotions like that, bro. Let me tell you how Big Worm told him on Friday. Don't be playing with my emotions, bruh. Don't be doing that. It's an event day. I don't need my emotion played with. If there's a one more thing, you better let us know there's a one more thing. And if there's not a one more thing, keep your damn mouth shut. Don't talk about it. Be about it, baby. So, yeah, there was no one more thing. I was really hoping for a one more thing because I thought that maybe we might get the Apple AR glasses that are been rumored for the last what 2 or 3 years. But sadly, there will be no AR glasses right now, at least. Now, somebody in the chat is alluding to another Apple event possibly happening in October this year, and that's definitely possible. We had an October event last year, so that's not outside the realm of possibility to have another Apple event this year. Remember, there's still rumored to be new iPad Pro coming. We got the new rumor 16-inch MacBook Pro, which is going to be on the way at some point. And there are also rumors of a new edition of AirPods coming with noise cancellation. So there's enough out there that might warrant another Apple event this year. But right now, if you have to ask me if I think it's going to happen, I'm going to go probably not. Because, I mean, that iPad and that MacBook can be added in a website refresh. So I don't know if it's worth another event. But the possibility of another event is definitely out there. Oh, and we have to finally officially unveil the Mac Pro. So there might be another event this year. But as it relates to yesterday's keynote, no one more thing. No AR glasses, no new iPad Pros, no new AirPods as of yet. But I was pretty happy with the keynote yesterday, to be honest with you guys. I was pretty happy. Last year at the iPhone keynote, I was mad. I was bored out of my mind. I could not believe they brought that weak sauce last year. I was pissed. But this year, I was pleasantly surprised. Like I said, with the stuff that's happening with Apple TV Plus, even though I don't know how it's going to compete, the pricing, and the 1 year free with the new purchase of an Apple product, that kind of got me. The photography technology in these new iPhones is crazy. I mean, have you seen the back of those new iPhones? Those camera sensors are humongous. They are huge. It's like beady eyes on the back of the iPhone. It's craziness. Now, for full disclosure on the podcast, I am not a fan of the way these new camera modules look. It look kind of weird and ugly and grotesque, but that's not going to stop me from pre-ordering it. No. On Friday morning at 7 a.m., I will be up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, putting in my pre-order for the iPhone 11 Pro Max, because that's what I do. But the other thing is that I'm going to put a case on it anyway and forget about it. So it's not gonna make me much different. But just looking from an initial impression perspective, I'm not a big fan of the design of the iPhones this year. They look kind of hideous. And I kind of find it hard to believe that Johnny Ive approved of these iPhones. I wonder if he just said the hell with these. I don't want to have nothing to do with this and checked out. But I find it hard to believe that these iPhones this year were designed by Johnny Ive. So not sure about that, but that is what we're getting next week with the iPhone. So again, pre-order go live Friday, September 13th, 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The iPhones then go on sale to the mass public on September 20th, the very next Friday. So this is all standard Apple fare. So if you want one of these new iPhones, you better be ready to roll come Friday morning, or good luck trying to walk into a carrier store and get one on launch day next Friday. Oh, one more tidbit though. Pre-order for the Apple Watch went live immediately after the keynote yesterday. So if you want to pre-order an Apple Watch, you can do that from apple.com right now. Usually the watch pre-orders go live with the iPhone pre-order, but Apple is separating them this year. So if you want an Apple Watch Series 5, you can now pre-order it right now. So be aware of that. So now that we reached the end of the podcast, I'm going to go into my live chat and see what y'all talking about. So we have Josephine in the chat, and she wants to know, where am I from? I am from Chicago, Illinois. So I am in the Midwest here, doing it big, enjoying the last dog days of summer before we get the cold, crappy winter weather again. I'm enjoying it. But yeah, I'm from Chicago. That's where I am at. As the old Tech We Need said about the keynote this year, they didn't waste time. They went straight into business. And I highlighted that at the beginning of the podcast. They did not waste time with facts and App Store figures and things like that. They went straight to the nuts and bolts of the keynote. I definitely approve of that. Don't waste our time. We're not there for your facts and figures. keep that to yourself, meetings and stock and shareholders and crap like that. The mass public does not care. So we don't care about that stuff. So shout out to Tim Cook for getting it done. And you know who could take note from Tim Cook about getting right into business? Samsung CEO DJ Cole. Yo, DJ, I know you like to chat, bro. But when you come out on these Samsung keynotes and you spend like 15 minutes talking, bro, that's too much. That's 14 minutes too long, bro. When you're talking for 15 minutes, that's 14 minutes too long, man. You need to calm down. Somebody tell DJ to be like Tim Cook. Limit that chitter chatter to like 2 or 3 minutes and keep it moving. We're not there to hear you talk. We are there for the hardware unveiling. That is what we're there for. All that chitter chatter, DJ, is unnecessary. Stop it. But yeah, Samsung CEO DJ Cole likes to chat a little too much for my liking. Cool dude, I like him, but he talks too much, so he needs to calm down. But Tim Cook got straight into business yesterday. I like that. Definitely prefer the way Tim Cook handled the keynote yesterday. He kept things moving, kept things flowing smoothly and flowing fast. I like that. All right, let me go back up here and see if I missed anything else from you guys before we get out of here for the night. By the way, I put out 3 videos yesterday on my main channel on YouTube. That is the first time I ever put out 3 videos in one day. One of those videos is already pretty much obsolete. It was a video telling you guys how to watch the keynote. But I guess if you guys haven't seen the keynote and you want to go back and watch the keynote, you can watch my video detailing on how to do that. So I guess it's not that moot, but it is on the main channel for your perusal at youtube.com/1Vyper with 3 Y's, VYYYPER. That is the main channel on YouTube, and it has the video detailing on how to watch the keynote. If for whatever reason you haven't watched it yet, that video is there for your perusal. So DJ G Money says that these iPhones will not sell out. You will have plenty of time to pre-order them. And he's absolutely right. These phones are not going to sell out at all. These phones, you can get up at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday afternoon, the 13th, and still get your pre-order in. They're not going to sell out. Truth be told, besides the camera tech, these iPhones, I mean, the camera tech alone is kind of a massive upgrade, but overall, they're not that much of an upgrade from the 10S and 10S Max. So I don't expect them to sell out. They'll be available, so it won't be much of a rush this year. Oh, Teflon needs to bring it up the demonstration they put on at the keynote from Filmic Pro yesterday. Yo, dude, that was amazing. So Filmic Pro, for those of you all that are not aware, is an app that you can, I think it's on iOS. I think it's on iOS and Android, but it's an app that you can use to enrich the camera experience of your phone. Like it adds features to your phone camera. So these dudes from Filmic Pro got on stage at the iPhone keynote yesterday and showed off how you can do simultaneous video from every lens on the back of the iPhone Pro at the same time. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. There is a feature in the Filmic app that allows you to record video from all 3 lenses at the same time on the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. That is mind-blowing. The way they demonstrated that is amazing, and you can switch back and forth between the lenses while you're doing that video recording. That stuff is mind-blowing. I don't know if I'm not really big into the Filmic Pro and using camera apps, but just the fact that that functionality is in place and you can do that is mind-blowing. I cannot wait to see what creators do with that, because they're going to have a field day with that functionality, being able to video from 3 different lenses simultaneously, and how they can integrate that into their creativity and their videos and things like that is going to be mind-blowing to see. So I cannot wait to see what creators do with Filmic Pro on these new iPhones. That presentation, that was legit. That Apple Arcade crap at the beginning with Frogger and whatever other game they were demoing, I could care less about that stuff. But that Filmic Pro demonstration, now that is real life practicality. That is good stuff. That was amazing. Very amazing. Oh, that's right. Ethan says that not only does it take video from the back camera, from the front camera. So theoretically, you can use all 4 lenses at the same time doing filming with the Filmic Pro app. So that is craziness. Yep, Simply Pop, that's crazy. 4 camera lenses, all recording video simultaneously with Filmic Pro. Bruh. Creators are going to have a field day with that. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing what the creative community does for these new iPhones because it's going to be amazing. So we got a comment from Delaja. He says, "So how come on the 10s we can only get HDR video at 30 frames, but these new iPhones allow you to do 4K 60 with HDR on all three lenses?" Because Apple. Come on, you know how Apple, man. You know how Apple is, man. They're gonna hold some stuff off all the time. They're gonna make sure that they put features in the new iPhone that will entice you to upgrade because that's how they make money. So to answer your question, Apple. That's the answer to your question. Woo. So Matt said to do a podcast with you and 3 others is gonna be fun. I don't know how that will work on the newer iPhone, but I mean, I don't know if you were watching my podcast last night, but I have 3 other people on here doing this podcast with me last night, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, man. All we got our Caramel crushing it. What's up, Caramel? How you doing? See, this is why I want to live stream at this time because I've never live streamed in the morning before, and I know some of you all can't watch my live streams when I normally do them because you're sleeping or they're way too late in other parts of the world. So I figured I would do one early this morning to get you other guys across the world to be able to watch me live for the first time. This is probably some of you guys are watching me live for the first time in live, actually. Like, it's one thing to watch a live stream replay. It's another thing entirely to watch me live. So some of you guys are probably watching me live for the first time. So welcome to the podcast. This is episode 36 of VypDrive, and you just watched me live for the first time. So shout out to you guys, and good morning to my man Genosis out there. How you doing, dude? So anyway, you guys got any last minute questions before I get out of here? The podcast is pretty much over with. I said everything I want to say. Again, if you guys want to donate to the channel, please consider buying me a coffee. The link is in the description. For those of you all listening on audio only, show notes, hit the show notes. Everything is down there for you. But I'm going to stick around in case you guys got some last minute questions, and then we're going to get out of here. I will let you guys have your day. Let's see. Lethal Emperor saying first take is off. Man, ain't nobody worrying about no first take, man. I'm out here doing what I do. It's iPhone week. They can sit down. Everybody sits down for iPhone week. I don't care who you are. You got to take a damn seat when it's iPhone week. Sit down. Sit the hell down. The country Prince says he has the Note 10 Plus and is impressed. I have the Note 10 Plus too, and I am very impressed, dude. The Note 10 Plus is my favorite phone of 2019 so far. I don't think the iPhone is going to overtake that, but I mean, I'll use the iPhone more because I prefer iOS. But as far as in a vacuum, I think the Note 10 is going to be the better device for me as far as having fun and using it than the iPhone 10. But I am definitely excited to use the iPhone. I mean, not 10, iPhone 11, but I'm definitely excited to use the iPhone 11. That's going to be fun. Oh, we got my usual coming in late because I normally don't do morning streams. So Lethal Emperor got to catch the replay. Yep, no doubt. Genosis wants to know what I'm doing tonight. Genosis, I'm doing absolutely nothing tonight. Like I said, I put out 3 videos, so I don't want to put out any videos today because that's like overkill. So I'm not putting out any videos today. I put out 3 yesterday. If you guys haven't checked out the main channel, there are 3 videos out there that I put out yesterday that are there for your waiting. Technically T, how you doing this morning, man? What's up, Technically T? What's up, bro? Steve says, I think not having Apple Pencil support on the new devices is a missed opportunity. You know, Steve, let's talk about missed opportunity. You want to know what missed opportunity is? Missed opportunity is the iPhone 11 Pro Max not having picture-in-picture, not having multi-window, not having true multitasking for the 5th year in a row. That, my friend, is missed opportunity. But yes, I do agree with you. The lack of Apple Pencil support is a missed opportunity, along with the lack of true multitasking. So, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know why Apple is like holding out on true multitasking functionality on the iPhone, because as I highlighted before on this podcast, these features are on the iPad, so they exist in the iOS coding. So I don't know why we don't have true multitasking on iPhone. I don't understand it. The only thing that I can think of is that Apple is trying to hold out for that exclusivity on iPad. That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, there is no reason why we don't have true multitasking on iPhone. It should be there. It's in the code. It's on iPad. So why is it not on iOS? Steve, I don't know. Can you tell me, Steve? Can you answer that question for me? Because I don't know. But once again, thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. I know I've been busy these past 2 days, but it's Apple event day, Apple event week. I'm the captain of Team Apple. I got to stay busy. It's time to go to work. We are in full iPhone season. So, you're going to get a lot of content coming from me, given that I am the captain of Team Apple. So keep it locked to this channel, the main channel, the podcast. Pay attention. The captain of Team Apple is coming for you. But until the next time, people, this your boy Viper, the man about tech, captain of Team Apple, baby. You know where to find me. So come back for more.